Hi, I'm Mary. I'm goofy, I'm funny, I'm smart, I have a master's degree in clinical mental health counseling. I wear this soft red sweater all the time. I dance with big motions like this when I walk my dog. I've got this goofy boy haircut right now that I'm rocking. It's not styled. And I've survived domestic abuse. I was married for 8 years or something like that. I don't even know. Time is like a mystery. I can't even keep track of how long it was. And I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to share my story in a way that I hope helps somebody else and gives a sense of connection, because it's fucking lonely and isolating and scary going through it on your own. And if you don't have any resources or anybody to talk to, it's really, really defeating. So, but I want to talk about it in a way that's not just my story, the content, all the things that happened, like blah. Nobody really benefits from that. I want to talk about it in a way that's helpful and encouraging, and I think really sticks with the victim's experience. So often we get stuck in this focus on the perpetrator and why did they do that and how could they do that and what can I do to make them stop? And we have to be able to relinquish a little bit of that control, because they're not going to stop. There's nothing you can do. It's not your fault. Okay, I have a script. I'm just going to read. Okay, so we tend to focus too much on the abusers themselves. So I want to put this content out there to help victims focus on their inner story of abuse and how to use that to move forward. And if you guys are in it, if you're going through it, I want you to know that you're not alone. Or if you have been through it too, that's still a whole thing in itself. If that's part of your history, you are strong. And if you don't know how to get out right now, I'm going to try to help you look at flipping that script. It's kind of a first step. And I do really hope that this video finds somebody and makes a positive impact, because God knows I could have used just a little bit of support when I was in it. Okay. So what I really want to do is be able to make space for the things that are going to be helpful. And that's why I try to stay away from some of the gory details, some of the nitty-gritty. But just really the raw emotion of it and the space to move and grow. And I think when we do get caught up in what specifically happened, there's two kinds of reasons that people do that. Either you're trying to convince others, whether it is the perpetrator themselves or just surrounding friends and family, to give you the resources that you need, or you're trying to justify it to yourself, whether it really is abuse or not. So one, you do have the resources that you need within you. And I say that with a caveat. You will rely on agencies and friends to support you and give you some assistance, but it's not going to be the people who are in your life right now. It's not going to be the people that you're begging for an ounce of affection or support. It's going to be people who step into that space that you open up, people who want to help you. So I encourage you to really allow people to come into your life that do want to help you, and stop spending your energy begging for these scraps of affection that you're not going to get, because you can't make them. Okay, and then two, you do not need to justify the hurt you're feeling. It doesn't matter what you label it. It doesn't matter, was it abuse? Was this technically abuse? Well, I said this, so maybe he could kind of get away with that. Trying to justify it. Was it sexual abuse? Was it emotional abuse? Was it physical abuse? It really doesn't matter. Like, the label doesn't matter because it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change the way you feel, and it's not going to change the help that you get and the resources you get. You can say, okay, I'm ready to decide this is domestic abuse. You're still in the house with them, you're still whatever living together. Nothing changes until it changes, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter what you call it. Okay. Also, there's kind of an idea that if people understood how bad it was, they would stop blaming you, they would help you, you know, it's all just a misunderstanding, all the victim blaming and stuff. It's not. People are going to do what they want to do. There's no way to convince them. You're just not. You're spinning your wheels, and it's going to go in circles for the rest of your life until you just allow those people to be kind of worthless pieces of shit and not love you. They're not going to give you the support you need. And the next thing I'm going to say, this is really tough for a lot of you guys, you're going to be totally alone. You don't have anybody in your life to support you. You're not going to convince them. You're not going to convince them that it's the abuser's fault, you know, that you need this support. Like, it's just not going to happen. They're not going to change. And that is a really heavy weight to put on you, for you to have that realization. And I wouldn't drop that on you unless I truly believed that you have the strength to get yourself out of the situation. Your family and your friends, the abuser themselves, they're not going to get you out. They're not going to just stop their criticism and all the shit they're doing. You have the strength to get out. You don't need them. You can do it all by yourself. I truly, truly believe that. Okay. Okay. So once you flip that script and stop waiting for an ounce of support from friends and family, you can do anything. And I'm not saying anything like go up and fight him. Don't do something reckless like that. But you have this inner power inside of you that will kind of sustain you and get you through all the steps you need to go through. It's going to keep you alive, keep you moving, keep you possibly a little bit hopeful while you go through the steps as you try to get on a better path in life. Okay, the honest to God truth is you might not get the smallest scrap of sympathy and support from anyone else in your current life, but you can do it anyways, and you are powerful. Second point I had said earlier is that we're trying to validate ourselves about, was it abuse, wasn't it abuse, was it really that bad? Again, it doesn't matter. Once you step back and say, okay, yeah, without a doubt, this was absolutely abuse, nothing happens. It doesn't change anything. So giving it that label really doesn't make a difference. It doesn't change the situation at all. And it doesn't take the pain away. Okay, so quantifying it does nothing to get you safe and feeling better. And similarly, saying that it wasn't really abuse is not going to make you feel any better. You feel shitty in the situation, you're going to feel shitty until the situation changes. But you, whoever is watching this, listening to this, you have power inside of you. A wise person recently told me that you can't always control the situation, but you always have power. And right now you have so much in your life that you cannot control, and that's a really crappy feeling. It might be finances, friends, just all sorts of stuff. You don't have control over that, and that sucks. But no matter what they do to you, what the people in your life do to you, you have power inside of you. So even though I want to stay away from the specifics of my story, here's a way that I do want to share it. This is the way it comes to me. Has anybody else ever felt like you have this dark room in your mind? And for me, I feel like it's this place that I first recognized as a child. And I sort of just saw myself in this space, in the fetal position, just waiting for it to end. And then once I grew up and moved out of the house, it was kind of like that dark space in my head was still there, but I was able to step away from it. And this darkness, when you're there, is suffocating, and it's the scariest place in the world. And you're desperate, you would do anything never to go back there. But then as the abuse picks up, it puts you more and more in that space, and the air just feels heavier and more oppressive, and it's almost like the walls are sinking in, and you feel desperate. You're screaming, trying to get out, but you can't. And you literally think that you're going to die. It feels like you're dying, and like your heart is being shredded, clawed to pieces, and you don't know how you're going to survive it. That has been my experience of my inner world, and if that resonates at all, you're not alone. And I don't know how, but over time, the space becomes less threatening, it's still there, but it's less scary and less overwhelming. Just scrolling through final parts. Sorry if parts of it were redundant too. Ultimately, just if you're in it right now, you're not alone. I'm sending you love. Keep yourself as safe as possible. You are worth protecting. And if we do more of these videos, if you come back, if you're interested, the next topic's probably going to be chronic health challenges, which unfortunately is kind of the next step for most people who survive abuse. It is what happens. Again, not alone, right there with you. And also the identity piece, reshaping your identity after abuse, because who am I when I lose everything I thought I knew about myself? And for some people, it is literally everything. It's like money, job, career, like social status, everything. Okay, take care.